All right. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most important things in trading. I mean, if not the most important thing. Hold on. If not the most important thing, because without this, you're not going to win any trades. You'll win by luck, but you're not going to be successful at it at all. It's, it's cut into two parts, but it's really discipline, like a psychological aspect of it, which is the hardest part to conquer because when you work for your money, and pretty much you do, unless you're being given money. I know my boy Ahmed Ibrahim works for his. If you're working for your money, bro, it's hard to watch yourself take losses and it's hard to enter trades, you know, overthinking, oh, what if I lose? What if I lose? This is like a paycheck. You know what I mean? It sucks losing. And then if you win, you're money hungry. You're like, oh, what if I win? This is like a full days of work. This is 2 days of work. It feels too good. You have to completely disregard that aspect. 100%. That's one of the hardest things I've been doing because I just like when you're taking your trade and you're watching it go up or you're watching it go down, you're just watching your money go down. You think about those hours you put in working for that money. You think about how many days and how many hours you've worked your ass off just to achieve that money, and now you're just watching it lose within 10 minutes. Or you're thinking about, while it's going up, you're thinking about, holy shit, I'm making this money. It takes me a week to make. You're getting greedy. And so you really have to disregard both of those aspects 100%. The greed if you're winning and the fear of loss if you're losing, because it's destined to happen. Both of them are very, very destined to happen. You're going to lose and you're going to win no matter how good you are of a trader. But strategy, anybody can learn a good strategy. Not just my strategy is the only strategy to work. It's just the one that works for me. And once you learn a strategy, it's not easy because you still have to understand the market, find them in the market, and point it out in real time. It's not easy, but it's not that hard compared to staying disciplined, and you really want to be emotionless. It's kind of, you got to be like stoic kind of in the market. So what I did to train that was, like, let's say I entered a trade here, even though it's a weekly, but let's say I entered a trade here and I'm watching it go up and I see the money going up with it. Like, it gives you that feeling of greed and it makes you think about it. So either you completely find a way to just get used to it or you shut it off. And so I learned a thing where I didn't shut it off, but I learned a thing or a way to think that just think of it as percentages instead of just net gain of how much money. And I know you're like wanting to just get into the chart, but just listen to this real quick. If you're taking a trade and it's going up from here to here, and let's say you make $150 off that trade, you're thinking of all those great things, but you gotta stop thinking like that. Start thinking in percentages. Start thinking in, oh, I made 25% on this trade. This is a very good trade. Oh, I made 2% of my portfolio in this trade. This is a very, very good trade. 3% of my portfolio. Or if you lost, say that you only risked 1% of your portfolio. So if you have 3,000, you only risk $30. You always, well, anyway, we're going to get into risk management later. That's very important in order to be successful. But just have that mindset of percentages, even if it's a $10 move. If you're playing with $100 account and it makes a $10 move, that's a 10% increase. If you have $10,000, 10% of that's $1,000 in one move. You understand? So it's all, the thing is, the market's very fractal with money, is that if you can make $1, you can make $1,000,000. It's just you put way more in. So make sure not only staying disciplined to your strategy, but staying emotionless to the money that you're winning or losing. But if you want to trade good, you have to stay disciplined to your strategy. You have to. And the strategy I'm going to give you is going to start pretty much right now. We're going to get into trends today. And this is a weekly. This is like each candle is 1 week. I just switched it to the 4-hour. Now, if you look at the market, you clearly see what is it doing. From here, it's coming up, going down, coming up, going down, coming up, going down, down, down. Right? You could clearly see that it's coming up and going down. I just got mad distracted. Kept hearing fireworks outside because of Chinese New Year. Anyway, so disregarding all of this, because this you learn how to understand when this is coming later, but right now we're just looking at trends. And one of the best way to look at trends is by going into a line chart. And so as you can see on the line chart, this doesn't look very nice. Let me see how the 4-hour looks. Okay. On the line chart, we see, disregarding this, if you're playing over here, you're seeing overall you're bearish. Overall it's going down. You could clearly see overall it's going down. This is a slight retracement going down. Slight retracement going down. And what you want to do in these moments is mark out the highs. Let me turn this off. Mark out highs and lows to identify the trend. And so you could see the reason it's bearish is because you're making lower lows and you're making higher or lower highs. So you're making lower lows. This low's lower than this one. This low's lower than this one. And you're making, well, up until here when it starts trending upwards, but you're making higher lows or lower highs, sorry. So this is a lower high than this one right here, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low. So you clearly could see the trends, right? And let me see if there's a way to delete this. All right. And then you see once you get a switch here, and it's a very steep switch, but we'll get into that next video. We start making we're not making lower highs no more. We start making higher highs. And this is a shitty chart to do this on, honestly. Let me see a better chart. If the weekly's better. All right, the weekly's better. So as you can see, we stopped from making lower lows, right? Lower low, lower low, lower low. And then to higher lows. So this is a higher low right here. Let me keep this at yellow. This is a higher low right here than this one down here. So this one was higher, obviously, right? And so once you see that, you understand that, oh, now we might see a shift in the trend because we're going lower low, lower low, lower low, and lower high, lower high, lower high to higher low, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, and higher low, higher low. You understand? I know this is very base and it's very obvious, and you can't really see it that well you can, but you can't really see it that well in this chart. It looks too complex, honestly. But in the line chart, you clearly see the lows and the highs being formed here. This low is higher than this one. This low is higher than this one. So you understand that once you start seeing it go from this, right? And I don't use trends. I don't believe in trends like that. I don't believe in like, oh, if you draw this line from here to here, it's going to respect it and keep going down. I think that's bullshit, because that's just, there's so much shit misproving that, and you're going to see that it's bullshit in the future. But trends are real. Like, we are in a crazy uptrend ever since November of 2023. We've been bullish as hell. We swept out all-time highs. We've been really bullish. And so some people try to look at this and like, oh, we're very overextended. You know, there's nothing else on this left side. How high could it go? And that's true. How high can it go? We don't know. That's why you have to just follow the trend until the trend makes a proven shift. So as of now, you could keep going long on your entries because that's where your bias is going to be, because look at it. It just keeps making higher highs and higher lows, clearly. And so until it proves that, just like over here, until it makes a lower high like these, it's only making higher lows and higher highs. There's nothing to play off of. It's just pure bullish. It's pure going up. So you really can't do anything. Some people try to guess the top, and then they try to short and make money on the downside. They're trying to guess, oh, maybe now it's gonna come up, and like, oh, it's gonna come up for the next couple of weeks and then just tank, and oh, let me get in up here. You never want to guess where the top or the bottom is. You just want to follow it until it proves you wrong. The only trades you'll ever want to lose is the ones where the market shifts on the bias. So as you see, it's bullish, and there's not one trader in the world, there's not one, that knows when this is going to stop being bullish. It could go here 1 week and then go down, or it could go all the way up for the next 5 years. How? Nobody knows, except, certain people, but we don't know, and no real traders really know. So follow the trend until it proves different, until it starts making opposite, unsupportive lows and highs. And so if you want to do some homework, or if you want to study this, or if you want to practice, go into the weekly chart, go into the line chart, and just look at the market. And this is all COVID, so disregard this. This is just a whole bunch of fucking propaganda. But you see, while we're in a bull run, you're not seeing lower lows be made. You're not seeing a lower low be made. This was just a sweep, I'm sure. If we go into this, oh no, it didn't even come under, so it wasn't disrespecting. In this, just look at, okay, low, 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 but they're all higher than each other. When we're in a bear market, you see low, low, but they're all lower than each other, obviously. So if you see, okay, this low, this shit gets me tight. This shit gets me mad, because it just was, there's just so many people that are like, oh, but what if it just comes here and then just goes up? Well, then the whole stock market just shifted on you. So how the hell are you going to know? Obviously, there's a lot of other shit that you're going to learn to be able to be prepared for when the market's going to shift and when the market's going to turn. Like let me just give you an example. This is going to blow your fucking mind, right? The market works off of price ranges. This will actually surprise you. Ready? Watch this. And this is a weekly chart. From 2020 all the way to up here to 2022 of January. Watch this. It touches exactly the halfway point. Hold on, let me make this exactly to the... This, okay. On this chart, it doesn't show it, but I'll show it right now. And this doesn't go with the lesson, but this is another thing you'll be learning. Boom. Now, how are you telling me it's not an algorithm? Because it is. You have 2020 lows to 2022 highs, and you take the 0.5 because if you're in a bull run and you want to redistribute the market, so this is all distributing its way long, distributing, and now it's reaccumulating. This is a reaccumulation because it's coming down to redistribute. Because overall, if you look at the overall trend, we're bullish. Even if you see this whole down move for weeks on in, you see it coming down, you're not going to think this, that it comes up and comes down, because the overall trend is bullish. You look at it, we're bullish. Now it's coming to reaccumulate more positions, more longs, and more fills right at the discount, right at the halfway point, because under the halfway point is a discount price. Up here, if you're buying it above the 50% marker, this is a premium. You don't want to be buying in a premium here. Right here, this is premium. If you're going long, you don't want to buy in a premium because it's not maximizing gains if you're buying above a halfway point. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's just common sense. But if you're going to buy groceries, who the hell wants to buy their shit with a higher tax to it, let's say, right? You're going to want to get the discount. And in the discount, it's under the 50% mark on the market, right? So you want to target under the 50% mark. And the market does this all the time. And I'll show you another example right now. If you take this range right here, from this high to this low, and you find the halfway point, what does it do? What does it do here? It shifts market structure after coming into this halfway point because it accumulated. Ahmed, you know who it is, right? They accumulated right down here so they could take out this high. Once they came up here, they reaccumulated this was a micro reaccumulation right underneath the 50% mark to take out the highs, because this is such a high confluence area. This high is a high confluence area because it's an all-time high. So you have to reaccumulate. But anyway, we're getting really off track. Go into the line chart, mark out highs and lows, and see once it shifts or once it changes, like going from this bearish to now bullish, you could see that from this low to this low, it creates a higher low. So don't expect it to always be bearish after it creates a higher low. You see on here, there's no higher low. There's only lower lows. So remember that. Anyway, that being said, have a good night. Next one will be up shortly.